Okay, so now we are going to discuss the types of tests. Still, we are under assessment of learning. So after the table of specification, you have decided upon the type of tests that you are going to construct. Now, you have choices of tests or choices of test items depending on the objectives. Now, let us look into the different types of tests. So the first classification of tests is, of course, the objective type, and then the other one is the subjective type. Meron tayong dalawang classification. The objective type and then the subjective type. For the subjective type, it has down your own opinion or it's not a structured one. So another term that we use for the subjective is the unstructured, while the other one is the objective type, which is the structured type. Under the objective test items, we have the first one, the limited response. Next is the free response type or the supply test. Under the limited response, it is very much structured that you are only given options as to the response that you are going to give. While the free response type or the supply test is also structured, but in terms of your response, you are given the opportunity in the way you will respond to it or how you are going to respond to it. So let us first look into the limited response type. For the limited response type, the first type is, or the most common is multiple choice. Okay? For multiple choice, we limit the number of options to 3 and 5. 3, 4, 5. The maximum number of options that you can have is 5. The minimum number of options that you can have is 3. Hindi pwedeng maging 2 because that would already be overlapping with alternate response, and it cannot be more than 5 because it will be likened as to the shortest matching type test. Now, for the multiple choice, we have types. The first type is the multiple choice. We have 2 types, and the types are keyed as correct answer, and the other one is the best answer. The first type is to choose the correct answer, while the second type is to choose the best answer. And the correct answer, of course, there's just one correct answer as based on the key itself, while when it comes to the best answer, all of the options are correct, but you have to choose the best within the situation. Now, aside from the type, we also have the parts of a multiple choice test. With regards to the parts of multiple choice test, for the parts, we have here the stem, and then the other one is the options. Okay? The stem are the questions, while the options are the choices. With regards to the option, there are 2 parts of the options also. We have the correct response or the correct answer, and the other one is the destructors. Okay? Ulitin natin. When it comes to multiple choice test, we have 2 types. To choose the best answer and to choose the correct answer. There are 2 parts, the stem, which is the question. The options are the choices. The options could have the destructor and the correct answer. Okay? That is for the multiple choice test. The next one is the true or false or the alternate response. Actually, sa ibang book, may confusion dito, no? Ang category actually ng true or false is alternate response because there are other alternate response tests. Example, the fact or opinion, yes or no, true or false. Yan yung examples ng alternate response. So, hindi automatically na pag-alternate response, true or false agad. Kasi marami din namang test na dalawa ang choices. Kaya siya tinawag na alternate response kasi dalawa yung pagpipilian mo sa kanya. But let's talk about multiple choice. Let's talk about true or false test. Okay? So, let's maximize the space. These are the types of true or false test. The first type is what we call the simple true or false. It's very basic since it's simple. Just have to write T or true if the statement is correct and false if the statement is wrong. It's just that. It's just like that. Okay? While there is what we call modified true or false. Okay. For modified true or false, maraming iba't ibang klase niyan. Ang iba't ibang klase is yung una, one example of modified, any modification to true or false test, making it not a simple true or false test, is called modified true or false. One common example of modified true or false which your teachers might be using at all times is the true or false with correction. What is this true or false with correction? True or false test with correction. Your teacher would be asking, right? This is the direction is like this. True or false, write true if the statement is correct. And if it is false, underline what makes it false and write down the correct part or the correct item or the correct response or the correct statement. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin na true or false with correction. Yung pinapalagay sa inyo kung ano yung tama. I-underline nyo kung ano yung mali. Papalitan nyo naman yung tama. True or false with correction yun. Pero generally, ang tawag nila modified true or false. Pero sa totoo lang, maraming klase ng modified true or false. Letter B, we also have the extended or expanded. The extended or expanded true or false. Other books would call this extended and expanded true or false as supply type true or false. Bakit siya naging supply type true or false? Ito yung example ng supply type true or false. Example. There is a statement, and there are options that will complete the statement. Ang sasagutin ninyo, hindi yung kung ano yung nakakakompleto sa statement. But you're gonna supply all the options one by one, and from the options, once you supply it to complete the sentence, you are going to identify whether that sentence is correct or not, based on the term that you will supply. Example, a circle has a 360 degrees computed using the formula for circumference a circle is a square. So it's like this. We call this true or false, which is extended or supply type, because the way the students will answer it would be like this. A circle has 360 degrees. True or false? You're gonna supply whether it's true or false on the space before the letter. Then, letter B, a circle is computed using the formula for circumference. True or false? Next, a circle is a square. True or false? Yung tinatawag na supply type, true or false. Okay? And sometimes your teachers would want the true or false test to be a little bit more difficult or complicated or complex because it goes with the objective. Meaning, medyo HOTS yung objective, kaya medyo ginagawa din nilang HOTS yung true or false ninyo. At nagagawa natin yon by using another modified type of true or false which we call true or false with options. Paano yung true or false with options? Let me erase one part. Ano ba yung true or false with options? In true or false with options, there are two statements. Statement A and statement B. And you are going to determine whether both statement is true, only one statement is true, both statement is false, only one statement is false. So it's like this. For item number 1, A, the sun is the center of the solar system. Letter B, the earth rotates on its axis. Okay? Identify whether both statement is true or only one is correct. So these are the choices. Your options or choices is that A, only statement A is correct. Sorry, only statement A is true. Letter B, only statement B is true. Letter C, both statement is true. For letter B, both statement is false. We call that true or false with option. Okay? So those are the different types of modified true or false. So it depends upon the teacher as to what type of true or false test he will be using, and also it's not just his choice but it's also depending on the test objectives. Okay? Now, the next one is of course matching type. Matching type is actually a more complex type of multiple choice because there are multiple choices also. It's just that the choices are more than 5. And you have to scatter out the options and match it to the statements or match it to the items in column A. Okay? For matching type test, this is just the thing that I would like to tell you, no? For matching type test, the smallest number of items that you can have is 5 for column A, but then the shortest number of options that you can have is 6, where 1 is a distractor, meaning 1 will not be matched to an item in column A. But then the distractor, meaning the items which doesn't have any match in column A, should not be more than 3. Hanggang 3 lang. Actually, ideally, it will only be 2. Huwag nang dadami pa sa 2 hanggang 3. No? Yung iba kasi umaabot ng sobrang dami. And then the maximum number of items of a matching type is only 10. With the distractor, 11 or 12 items. Hindi po pwede na you have 10 items and then ang distractor mo umabot hanggang A to Z. It will confuse the students. And at the same time, the test items has to be homogeneous. If you intend that in the objectives, all of the test items in your examination will be 50 points matching type, it cannot be that it will just be one test, meaning it's just letter A and everything is there. 50 items of matching type and then there are 55 items for column B. It cannot be like that. It should be homogeneous, meaning it has to be topical. It has to be topical. Ibig sabihin nun, if you can have it, chapter 1, the set. There are 10 items about it. Chapter 2, you write down the topic. The topic, for example, is tissues, 1 to 10. Then, letter C, organs, 1 to 10. Letter D, systems, 1 to 10. So, meaning, hindi yung organs, systems, tissues, cells, nandun lahat sa matching type na 1 to 10. Hindi po pwedeng ganun. Homogeneous tayo. Okay? Lalo na kung ang matching type ay sa history, ay, nahihirapan yung mga estudyante. Okay? So, that's matching type. Okay. The next one, after the limited response type, we also have here the free response type, or the supply test. Usually, the supply tests are what we call the filling of blanks. We call that filling of blanks. For the short answer test, these are the typical filling of blanks that we have, whereby the one that we supply are factual. Let's say, for example, blank is the center of the solar system, and your only answer is the sun. You cannot answer a longer item there, but there is just one short answer for it. Next, for the completion test, this is actually two completion tests. It's in a way objective, but it depends upon the opinion of the person. Usually, ang completion test kasi ginagamit siya na psychometric test. Ibig sabihin, sentence completion yung tinatawag sa kanya. Sa psychological testing materials, ginagamit siya to predict the thoughts of the person or to analyze the thoughts of the person or the personality of an individual. Usually, if the teacher would like to gather information about personal thoughts of the students, nagagawa siya ng completion test or nagbibigay siya ng completion test. For example, what is your my most vivid childhood memory is blank. You are going to complete and supply out kung ano yung most vivid childhood memory mo. Kung natatandaan ng iba, generation kasi namin yun, I do not know, generation namin yung naman kanina yung Sir Morgan nyo yun, yung slam book. Kung nag-fill up kayo ng slam book, yung, ayan, generation din daw ni Sir Arnold yun. Kung nag-fill up kayo ng, siguro, sinasimang P-na-dated, generation din nila yun. So, magkaka-generation pala kami. Yung mga slam books na yan, at slam notes na yan, yun ay sentence completion type. And tingnan natin, ka-generation din ba namin kayo? Nag-fill up ba kayo ng slam book? Kasi yun ay example lang naman. Parang gano'n ang completion test. Okay? So, those are the objective tests. And then, the next one is that we also have here the subjective test. Isa lang naman ang category nun. Essays. Essays may either be restricted or extended. Ganito lang ang identification nun. Ang extended essay, there's just one question, it's general, and it's up to you how you will attack and how you will answer that. For example, if your teacher wants you to share your ideas about, for instance, share your stories or share your insights about the phenomenal idea about new normal education. Share your ideas and inputs about new normal education. It's very extended because it has wide and arrays of ideas that you can place into your essay. Marami kang pwedeng ilagay doon. Maraming angulo na pwedeng ilagay doon. Pero kasi, as educator, we mainly go much on the restricted essay. Mas yun ang focus natin. Why? Because we have to know what to measure. Sabi nga natin, diba? Every objective has to be smart. Therefore, every test item has to be smart because it has to follow your objective. So, ano restricted essay? Restricted essays are those essays which conveys the limitation of what you should write. Most of the time, it gives the keywords that you have to use in constructing your essay. It gives the number of words, it gives the number of lines, the number of sentences that you have to give when answering your essay. Let's give an example. Describe the process of photosynthesis using the concepts stomata, sunlight, water, plant, given a keyword, yung essay should only revolve on those keywords. Okay? Ganun siya. So, another example of essay na restricted is differentiate assessment and evaluation in the light of classroom testing. So, meaning sa classroom testing lang. Kasi meron na mga assessment and evaluation in outside classroom. Meron sa, kumbaga meron sa PRC board examination, sa TESDA may mga accreditation, so may assessment din doon. Pero limit siya inside the classroom setting. So, we call that restricted essay. And in restricted essay, of course, your teachers will be giving you time within in constructing the essay. Okay? So, those are the different types of tests. I will repeat. Types of tests are, the classification rather, are objective and subjective. For objective tests, we have the types, the limited response and the free response type, or the supply type. For the limited response, you have multiple choice, which is to choose the best answer or to choose the correct answer. For alternate response, we have true or false, fact or opinion, yes or no, and others. For true or false, we have two basic types, the simple and then the modified. Under the modified, we have true or false with correction, we have supply type true or false, and then true or false with options. And also part of the limited response is the matching type. For pre-response type, we have short answer and completion test. And then for subjective type, essays, we have restricted and extended. So those are the different types of tests. Thank you so much, and I hope you